Now for updates on sports stories across the globe, Ebi Iomon joins us with Aaron Akerejolo on standby to bring us updates from the National Sports Festival happening in Ogun State. But Ebi, of course, you are in Abuja. Good morning, and I hope you're well.
Good morning, Vimba. I'm well. Thank you so much. And good morning, Dr. Bati and Rufai. Nice to see three of you this morning. Well, we have a lot on the world of sports. And we'll begin quickly with the story from the Nigerian boxer. Well, 50 days after his death, that's Oluwasegun Olarewaju in Ghana, there still hopes that his body will be repatriated back from Ghana into Nigeria. His family, even boxers, have come out to say that the investigation needs to be sped up. Well, the 7-man committee who were put in charge to investigate this have already submitted their reports to the Ghana Federation and they say that they will make the results or the decisions made public to everyone, and this will set the precedence for changes in boxing rules, especially not just in Nigeria, but also in African competitions. I'll move away from that and go to Italy, where despite every of the top 5 leagues in Europe already getting champions, Italy seems to be the most competitive league right now, because the Italian league has already announced that the title that's between Napoli and Inter. Now, Napoli are top of the table with 79 points, just 1 point clear of Inter Milan. It's going to be a very interesting contest as Napoli hosts Cagliari at home, while Inter will be away to Como, who have already been assured of a 10th place finish with Fabregas as their coach. Now, if the two teams end with the same points, there'll be another playoff which will take place on May 26th. We see how that pounds has been an interesting ride there in the Italian Serie A. A lot of competitions. We have Lautaro Martinez doing well in Inter Milan as well. Away from that to the Ballon d'Or, where it's been announced that it's going to take place on the 22nd of September. Now, this has brought good news for the women, especially because the prior dates in the last 2 editions had falling on October 30th and October 28th, which have been very tight for them because they had international games. But right now, September 22nd is a Monday, which doesn't have any World Cup qualifiers or any friendlies for the women or the men. So both sides will be able to attend the event. Now, there are 3 categories for the women, new categories being put in place. They have the Best Goalkeeper Awards, Top Scorer for Club or National Team, and also Best Young Player. Those 3 categories will be inserted for the women in this edition of the Ballon d'Or, which takes place September 22nd. And still in France, we had news come out during the weekend where 3 players had issues with the anti-homophobic campaign. This campaign has been in the 5th edition. Now, one of the top players there is Nemanja Matic, who covered the symbol with a badge so it does not show. And we also had a non-player there, Mustafa, who says that his religion doesn't allow him to promote that. But now there's a lot of controversies with the Minister of Sports there in France coming out to say that they need to support this campaign, and for them failing to do that, they need to be punished. We saw this happen about 2 seasons ago, where a player like Idrissa Gueye was sanctioned and eventually had to leave PSG and currently playing for Everton. So it's a back and forth there in France currently. And finally, from me, we have some transfer news update. We'll go straight to that with Matheus Cunha, already set to leave Wolves at the end of the season, and he will be joining Manchester United despite so many offers from different clubs. But he says he wants to play for United, and the personal terms are already close to being sealed. And still on the transfer news, while Manchester United are already getting a signature of Matheus Cunha, we have Manchester City dropping out of the race for Florian Wirtz. Now, it's tossy-turvy. They say that the prize money for him is quite expensive for them, and they will be dropping out of that. We'll see how that pans out for them, but they still have to get a number 10 and number 8, as they've already announced. And still on transfer news, Hansi Flick has signed a contract extension with Barcelona until 2027, and this comes after he had a domestic treble with the Barcelona side. And we're still talking about Barcelona. They are thinking of giving Lamine Yamal the number 10 jersey after the season he had. A very spectacular season for the 17-year-old young boy. He's been doing well, but this also puts the future of Ansu Fati into contest because he is the current number 10 in Barcelona, even not playing so many games with the team. And finally, in transfer news, we have Barcelona President Laporta coming to say that Nico Williams, that's the boat has sailed, that Barcelona were looking to value other potential signings and not him. Last season, they would have loved to get him, but failed to do that. But this season, it's not just with him, Nico Williams. So that's all for me on sports. But Aaron Akerediola is standing by in Ogun State to give us information from the National Sports Festival.
Aaron, good morning.
Morning, Aaron.
Aaron, good morning.
Okay, real quickly, I mean, maybe it's if Barcelona can actually ace the Nico Williams signing, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, only God knows the behemoth Barcelona will become. I mean, look at what Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal did in the Euros. They literally did win the Euros, for Spain. And you can see the dexterity and all of that. Lamine Yamal is in the form of his life at this point in time. So, but let's just see how this pans out. And the title race in Italy is definitely going to go down to the wires. Will Inter Milan be able to do a quick one and do a double, while having also the Champions League in the kitty for them and also winning the league? It will be down to the wires, and it's going to be a very intense fight and all of that. And it's not today that we've always had religion mixed, with football and all of that. In fact, if you remember back in the days, it was even as much as the club trying to promote betting on their shirts. I think it was it Canuti or the likes that said, you know what, I'm not going to wear betting shirts, and they have to take the high road and leave. And they tried this when this is a very touchy issue, say no to homophobes and things like that, and they say it's against their religious inclination. So let's see how it pans out. If the player, does not want it, then definitely at some point they will have to take a move and go to other areas where their religious inclination, can carry them. At least it's a Saudi league that is very big now, and it's a big money spin, and maybe that might push them quickly to Saudi league. But the thing about Saudi league, it's like going to early retirement. But I also like to talk to Aaron about some of the things happening. I would like to ask what the medal table is like in Ogun State. Maybe Ogun is already topping the medal table, so that when they start topping the medal table, they will just top it at the end of the tournament. And I'd like to ask him, has he left Abeokuta? Has he gone to Kenya? Has he gone to other parts, at Ijebu-Ode? And has he eaten our local delicacy? But I'm very sure that at the end of the medal table today, Ogun is going to top it. And like I raised a point, Aaron, what I was saying is, yes, Arise can be doing the coverage, which is based on news reportage. I want to see 24-hour sporting tournaments being showed on TV of the National Sports Festival. That's what I want to see. Where is the dedicated channel that's covering the National Sports Festival? I'm saying dedicated channel. Even if they don't have the money to be able to put it on, TV boxes and all of that, what about online? What about, YouTube? By now, if they can have a YouTube channel for the National Sports Festival, and they have like 10 different channels that are showing 10 different sports from different areas, and you can easily build these channels, on YouTube, showing sports from, so that we can watch it and follow it and even share and support it. Yeah. Those are the things I'm looking for, and I've not seen that as we speak.
It's true, and get excited about it, and then we start to buy merchandise, and it becomes a whole ecosystem. Ebi, I've been following this Segun Olanrewaju case, and this morning, Rafiu Oladipo, who is the president of the Nigeria Boxing Board of Control, was on a Ghanaian radio station, and he's alleging that the Ghanaian Ministry of Sports is frustrating their efforts to repatriate Olanrewaju's body. So he's saying that their understanding was that there was supposed to be the autopsy done by the committee, and they thought that once the findings were released, that the corpse would be returned back home. Well, the findings have been released, and unfortunately, there's still no repatriation in place. A representative from the Ghana Boxing Authority also spoke on the same radio station this morning, and he was also expressing his frustration because he said the Ghana Boxing Authority is ready and able to repatriate the body, but the Ministry of Sports have told them hands off. So it seems that there's a deeper investigation. Remember, we'd been told that he had a cardiac arrest. rest. But, the length of this investigation and so forth is now starting to make it seem as though maybe there's more to it than the Ministry of Sports has actually shared. And hopefully soon they will give an update and explain why they found it necessary to hold on to the corpse for this long. But I do hope that his family can get the closure of being able to lay him to rest and give him a befitting farewell very soon.
Okay, the Ogun State Gateway Games 2024 medals table after 2 days of competition. Team Delta is leading with 3 gold medals, 1 bronze. And Team Delta will be hoping to win the title, for the 5th consecutive time. Now, Team Cross River, your team is second with 3 gold medals. Now, third is the invited junior athletes, a special category. I would have loved Aaron to talk about these invited junior athletes who have 2 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze, coming third on the medals table, particularly in weightlifting. And then the 4th team is Lagos. Lagos has 1 gold, 1 silver. So the competition has already started, and there's the medals table. Well, I understand Aaron is with us, but before we go to Aaron, I would like to ask you, the Ballon d'Or, September 22, who is your favorite? People have been making some forecasts, whether it will be Lamine Yamal, Dembele, or Messi. Who is your choice? My choice is Dembele.
No,
Messi
can't be part of that, but I don't think Messi can be part of that. I think it's between, at this point, because it's fluctuation, but it's Lamine Yamal or Rafinha. Those 2 have had a very good season. It's depending on lead PSG. Should Dembele lead PSG to the Champions League, it might just steal to him. Okay.
Anyway, thank you, AB. We understand Aaron is there now in Abeokuta at the Moshood Abiola International Stadium. Good morning, Aaron. Hello, Aaron.
Yes, good morning to you, Doctor.
Good.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Doctor. Let's go straight into it today. Of course, the biggest news actually coming out from this National Sports Festival, Ogun 2024, has to be the fact that the National Sports Commission has disqualified registered athletes with anti-doping issues from participating in this 22nd edition of the competition. 6 athletes have been penned down. Marcos Okon from Akwa Ibom, David Okpeyemi from Bayelsa State in gymnastics, Karim Shukurat representing Lagos in kickboxing, Omole Dolakpo from Bayelsa State in kickboxing, Ogun Shemilore Cynthia from Bayelsa in kickboxing, and Anima Shaun Sophia representing Lagos in powerlifting. And speaking about that, as they're trying to tighten the news, you mentioned some of the medals actually coming in. Of course, we must actually celebrate the invited junior athletes who started off the medal flurry coming into this particular game from Sunday, as 2 of them distinguished themselves, winning major medals, winning 2 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. All right, their names are Marachi Chijoke and Kolastika Tekumbu, all right, all from all represented the invited junior athletes, which is the 38th state. Let's also talk about the fact that yesterday, when things actually began in earnest, Team Cross River blazed the trail in weightlifting, like you actually mentioned. King Kalu Fiem, all right, making it easy in the 54 kg category. They were on top of the table up until Team Delta actually struck. And also, we must also mention quickly that that handball is actually heating up, and yesterday the men actually began their own foray into getting gold, silver, and bronze. The women will begin later on today. As a matter of fact, when you actually look at some of the fixtures for today, some have started by 9 p.m. and some will be starting by 10 p.m. A lot is expected, but I must say that what is still buzzing around are the fact that, as we speak, 6 athletes have been disqualified as registered athletes with anti-doping issues.
Aaron, tell us more about these invited junior athletes. Is this a special category because you refer to them as representing the 38th state? And then we're told that at the sports center, the media center, at the Kuto Cultural Center, that the president of SWAN was advising journalists to beware of fake news. So is it that sports journalists also specialize in fake news? Does it happen? Because is it not what you see that you report?
Doctor, speaking about that, there will be a lot of hearsay, understanding that the event is not happening in one particular venue. So Abeokuta is one major venue. We are the MK Abiola Stadium. There's also a major stadium just behind, a major venue just behind us, and also there are other centers in Ikene, Shagamu, Ijebu-Ode. So the tendency not to be in a particular venue and you decide to report on hearsay without getting the facts right is one thing we need to balance here. Because as much as possible, we've tried to spread ourselves thin here in this National Sports Festival, deploying cameras to different venues for different events so that we can get up-to-date happenings and not hearsay as some are reporting. Now, talking about the invited junior athletes, these are the future of tomorrow. They've decided that why not start them off young and let them mix up with the big boys and begin to strengthen their calices so that as they grow older, they know that when they probably go against their own contemporaries, they will be head and shoulders above them because they've been punching way above their weights over the years.
Okay, Aaron, what I was saying yesterday, I'm not talking about your coverage on Arise, which is good like you're doing now. I'm saying where is the channel where we can be? If I want to watch Ludo or chess or gymnastics as is going on now in one of the centers, where will I be watching it? That's what I'm saying. So that's why I say the Ogun State government or the organizers, even if it's YouTube, they get their own camera crew across every venue. They are constantly streaming all the sport that is happening, even if they can't put it on linear TV because of cost, so that we can use that, get sponsorship, and be able to explore the big potential. Because in America in January, Aaron, college sport is a multi-million-dollar money-spinning venture. It is sad, it is an aberration that we have a national sports festival. I can't watch the sport activities going on in real time, even if it's on YouTube, even the live stream. Where is it? Show me.
Rufai, just to clarify on that, Rufai, it is actually happening, but just because of right issues, and we do not want to give unnecessary promotion to some company, because there is a company on ground, I must actually say. There is a company on ground who are actually have been deployed to several venues across the state, and they are actually combing and ensuring that on their YouTube channel, they are some of these matches, some of these events, and some of the games are being streamed live as official broadcast partners.
I'm saying all should
I
be
cannot say
live.
for all.
Not
Yesterday,
all. Not
yesterday,
it's a starting point, and I hope in future years we can.
Well, on that
be able
note,
to
thank
get
you very much, Aaron.
live coverage.
Try to enjoy the hospitality of the Egba people while you are reporting from Abeokuta.
We'll do that.